Time to crack open the sports page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi.
On JRR.
Bulldog, I tell you what, me and you should be pretty jealous this morning of Taco Bob. He's got the F1 desk set up live in Vegas right now. I think we got the connection here. What's up, high roller?
Well, that would be the sounds from the F1 desk of the sounds of racing and slot machines in the background. We have our winner ahead of time. Another win for Max Verstappen.
All right, thank you for checking in from the F1 desk in Vegas, where the race will start at 1 o'clock in the morning, our time, on Sunday.
Do you think F1, I mean, they're obviously making a big deal about this race in Vegas, and, you know, whenever F1 comes to town, it's a big event. Do you think F1, the momentum will continue, or are they just a flash in the pan?
What?
In this country, I'm talking about.
In this country, I think the interest continues to be sloping upward.
Okay, yeah, just curious, because, again, this Vegas race is getting all sorts of coverage, sort of like the Miami Grand Prix does when it comes to South Florida.
They're saying it's the hottest ticket of the year so far for all the F1 races.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Vegas, all the people there are pissed about it. So, yeah, I know they have that contract. I wonder if it's going to stick or not.
Oh, it'll stick.
Yeah, that's what I figured. If this is the hottest ticket of the year.
So, Thursday night football last night, Ravens beat the Bengals 34-20. Some major injuries in that game, though. Joe Burrow, the Bengals quarterback, he goes out with a hurt wrist in the second quarter. Mark Andrews, the star tight end for the Ravens, he's out for the year. I guess he's got a serious ankle injury. But, man, Joe Burrow being gone for the Bengals aren't going to make the playoffs, I don't think.
Yeah, they're 500 now, 5-5.
Joe,
yeah, they're in last place in that division. That division's really tough. They're 500. You look at the rest of their schedule. I mean, they have the toughest schedule in the league for the remaining games. Every team on their schedule's 500 or better.
Dog, did you see the video that was leaking out yesterday of Burrow with the wrist brace on ahead of time before the game? So it seems like Pat and I were talking about it. Pat was saying must have re-injured it, right?
Yeah.
Well, the coach acted like he didn't even know that Burrow had a wrist ailment before the game.
He was trying to hide it in the video that you saw. If you think about it, remember he's like has a sleeve pulled way over it, and then he kind of grabs the bag with the other hand. If you can't carry a bag, you're not going into the game 100%.
Right. All right, football this weekend. Obviously, let's start with the NFL because we're talking about the NFL right now. 3 state teams. The Dolphins coming off a bye. They should blow out the Vegas Raiders. Tampa Bay at the 49ers. Come on now. We saw what the 49ers did to the Jaguars last week. I don't think the Bucs can compete with the 49ers. The Jaguars, though, they better win this week against the Tennessee Titans in Jacksonville. The Jaguars have played crappy at home. I think they're 1-4 at home this year. They got blown out by the 49ers at home. Last week, they got blown out by the Texans at home earlier this season. This is a game the Jaguars need to win. Other big games in the league, looking down the schedule, Pittsburgh at Cleveland could be interesting. Cleveland, of course, without Deshaun Watson, he's out for the year. The Jets at Buffalo, only because I want to see how Buffalo responds to last week's game and firing their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey. Stephon Diggs, their star receiver, I guess his brother, who plays for the Cowboys, said Stephon Diggs needs to get out of Buffalo, so he had to answer questions about what his brother said yesterday. Wow. Damn. And then Monday Night Football, Minnesota at Denver. Denver suddenly resurgent. Minnesota's resurgent as well. That could be a decent game.
Hey, on the Monday night game, Philly and Kansas City, that's the game of the week this week. Unfortunately, we got to wait till Monday.
I'm sorry, the Denver game was Sunday night.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. In Philadelphia, the top 40 station in Philadelphia, Taylor Swift-less weekend. Her music will not be played on the top 40 station in Philadelphia until Tuesday morning after the Monday night game.
That's a great promotion.
We will give props where props and credit are due to Q102 in Philadelphia for pulling that stunt.
There you go. College football this weekend. Florida. This is like Humpty Dumpty weekend. A lot of the ranked teams play a bunch of Humpty Dumpties. Like Florida State's playing North Alabama. There's not even a spread on that game, so Florida State will win that one. Watch out this week, Lich. I'm picking your Hurricanes to upset number 10 ranked Louisville.
That could happen.
This weekend.
That could happen.
Yeah, Louisville's only favored, but like 1.5 points. It's in Miami. Louisville's 1 win away from their first ACC title game appearance, so it's going to be interesting. Tyler Van Dyke, I think he may rise up in this game, right? He's been benched a number of times this year.
Like the Phoenix.
And now he's back in the lineup. What?
Like the Phoenix.
Yes, Phoenix rising from the ashes. Yeah. Florida's at number 9, Missouri. Missouri favored by 11.5. The Gators defense has been so bad over the last few weeks. We saw what Jaden Daniels of LSU did last week against the Gators. I don't think the Gators can hang with Missouri. UCF at Texas Tech. Texas Tech, a 2.5 point favorite in that game. I think UCF's offense is a little bit better than Texas Tech's offense. I think UCF actually going to win this game and become bowl eligible, which in my mind, if they get bowl eligible in their first year in the Big 12, season's a success.
That's
what do you
UCF
alumnus say?
Agree.
And if they play like they played last week, they will beat them. You know, because they looked great.
Although Texas Tech went on the road last week and beat Kansas, which was a ranked team, and we know what Kansas did to UCF earlier this season. So TCU is not going to be a pushover. No, that's for sure. I'm sorry, I'm Texas Tech, not TCU. I get those two mixed up.
I'm gonna give you an upset alert here.
What?
Oregon State over Washington.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be that big of an upset. Oregon State's played well this year. Washington's ranked number 5. Oregon State's ranked number 11. So, yeah.
It's in Corvallis, home game for Oregon State. Washington has had some squeakers. We'll see. Well,
Florida State would love to see that because if Washington beats Oregon State, they're probably going to jump over Florida State this week in the college football playoff rankings.
No doubt.
The big news in college football yesterday, well, look who's agreed to the 3-game suspension. Jim Harbaugh, the cheater, has agreed to the Big Ten's 3-game suspension and the only reason he's doing it is because the Big Ten has agreed to drop their investigation into Michigan. So the Big Ten's just going to let the NCAA handle the investigation. The Big Ten, you want to talk about just getting what they wanted. So the Big Ten essentially says, okay, we're going to give Harbaugh a 3-game suspension, but we're still going to have a team assured of getting to the college football playoff.
Hey, we did have a listener last night, Bulldog, request that we slap you in the side of the head because he's a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
He hates your phrase, cheating Michigan.
Yeah. Pat's right. I remember that now. Thanks to everybody who came out last night, by the way, to Mulligan's. That was a packed house on a pouring night.
Good for you guys.
Hey, Taco, sorry about your Blackhawks last night, losing 4-2 to the Lightning.
I know, it was a big loss.
Magic, a tournament game tonight, Bulldog.
That's right, against the Bulls. Hopefully they can beat the Bulls like they did the other night, although let's try not to blow a 19-point third quarter lead like they did the other night. So, yeah, hopefully the Magic will win that game.
All right, Mike the Bulldog Bianchi, host of Open Mic on AM 740 and FM 96.9 The Game, sports columnist for the Orlando Sentinel, and the dynamic sounds of a grown man barking to take us out of the sports page on JRR each morning.